So taro in our culture is actually called kalo. That is what we call taro. We don't call it taro, we call it kalo. And kalo is what we use for making poi. How many of you have had poi before? How many of you like it? You can put your hands down if you don't like it.
We had it in biscuit form, and it was very good.
No, if you eat it in bread and stuff like that, you're not really getting.
Well, we had it plain, and then we had it.
Oh, you had it plain in a biscuit?
And then in a biscuit.
Need some jalapenos.
If you ask me how many of you like spaghetti, my lips will.
Oh, what a lot of people don't know, there's two different types of poi. There's a beginning stage, which we call pa'iai,
That's what we had. We didn't have to ferment it.
and the watered down stage, which we call poi. So when I say the two different stages, when I first make my poi, it is like dough, like Japanese mochi, firm, like dough, one big round. I can manipulate it, bake it, fry it, do all kinds of stuff with it. That's how I make it when it's done traditionally. How does it become poi? Nowadays people don't do it traditionally, they use machines. Taro is so sticky and gummy that when you use machines and grinders, it sticks. And when things stick, people add water to loosen it from the grinders. And then when you loosen it from the grinders, it loses flavor, loses color, loses nutritional value, loses shelf life. So what you see out there in the commercial industry and in the hotels is poi. What we make traditionally is pa'iai.
Say it again.
Pa'iai. And the secret to making good pa'iai is using as least water as possible. So before we get into making our poi, I'm going to teach you about the taro plant and the tools we use. And what the taro represents for us as Hawaiian people, because like I said, everything has a meaning, everything has a purpose, and why we use it and why we grow it. And like I said, when we look at things in the culture, we look at everything at the physical side, and also there's a spiritual side to everything. So we find the connection, we try to find the connections between it and us as human beings. And when we find the connection between it and us as human beings, we tend to respect it more, we see it in a different way, and it's just more than food. So, the taro plant. Taro is a root. This is a baby taro plant, what we call keiki. Keiki means child. So, taro is a root, similar to a potato. It grows underground, but has to be grown in patties of water like rice. So my taro patches right now are dry. They need water. That is why I gotta go fix my irrigation ditch. So, as you can see, it looks pretty much like a potato. Nutritional value of taro, same as potatoes and rice. But the only difference between potatoes and rice that taro has is you can eat as much taro as you want and never gain weight. Taro breaks down differently in your body than potatoes and rice. Interesting, huh? And another unique thing about taro is they haven't found anybody allergic to taro in the world. Nobody's allergic to this plant. So, poi is used a lot all over the world now in hospitals, especially for babies. When babies cannot hold down food, they give babies taro. She's laying an egg. Sounds like she's looking for a place to lay an egg in my kitchen, right next to the stove. Yay! So, taro grows up. The root does not grow down. So the bigger I want my taro plant, the deeper I plant my shoot. Taro, we plant from shoots, we do not plant from seed. Because taro, this plant does not produce seeds. It produces tubers, live shoots that come out the side. So, kind of like live birth. So, you cannot go any place and say, I want to buy a pack of taro seeds. They do not exist. I haven't ever seen a pack of taro seeds any place I ever traveled in the world. So, when I say we try to find the connection between it and us as human beings. So, we look at the plant, we study the plant, the way it grows, the way we use it, the way it looks, every single part of the plant and the way it functions. So when I say the plant is similar to us as human beings, we look at the taro plant in our family as... Is that Shum? Yep, sounds like he went down and he went right back up. So they will be coming across pretty soon. So the way we look at the plant, like us as human beings, find the connection between it and us. So when we first look at the plant, and like I said, we look at it as women, because men cannot produce life, only women can produce life. Men can help, but we do not give birth. So I said the plant produces life shoots. So to us, the plant is a woman. So he said, what do you mean? So I said, the way we look at the plant, connection between us and it. Shape of the leaf. What's the shape of the leaf?
Heart shape.
Shape of the leaf is a heart. To us Hawaiian people, it looks just like a heart.
So is that what this plant is here?
That is what this is. This is a taro plant growing. I put it in the pot, carry it around so people can see it. This is what is growing in my taro patches. So, we look at the leaf, shape of a heart. Now, us as Hawaiian people, I got a heart. Say it's like the leaf. Purpose of our heart. What does it do? How does it function? How does it work?
Pumps the blood.
It's a muscle that pumps blood. What does the blood travel through?
All your
Veins
body.
and arteries. Now I take this heart and I hold it up to the sunlight. Or I'm going to ask you, I'm actually going to pass it around to you folks so you guys can hold it up to the sunlight yourself. Hold it up to the sunlight and you look inside and what do you see?
Veins.
Veins and arteries, just like a heart. Now, in the middle of the leaf, there's a little circle, just like this one here. See the circle?
Mm-hmm.
That is what we call the pico, like your belly button, the center. See it? So, I have a heart with veins and arteries. Pico, what was the purpose of your pico? What was it connected to? What was the function? The umbilical cord to your mother passes nutrition to you as a baby, to your body. So now, I have a heart with veins and arteries, with a pico, with an umbilical cord that connects to the body. So I look at the taro plant, just like me as a human being. Has all the same parts. Might not look the same as me, but represents the same thing. Functions the same. Grows. Produces babies. Just like us as human beings. So, we look at the plant like a woman. So one taro plant can have in between 8, 12 to 15 keikis. Depends what variety of taro you grow. So the most unique part about the taro plant, as women, how long does it take you before you can have a baby?
Well, 9 months.
The type of taro we grow, lehua, takes exactly 9 months before I can harvest and it reproduces. Just like us as human beings. So the middle stalk, or the main stalk, which you've seen growing now, this one has no keikis yet because it's a young stalk still growing. So this mama that is growing, these keikis will be connected to the bigger root and will start to grow out the side. So when the root is big enough to harvest and the keikis are big enough to take out for replanting, we harvest the whole plant. Now we take the root, stalk, and the leaf. Everything is edible. The stalk and the leaf is just like spinach. So this right here, that right there you guys held in your hand, this is the luau. So if you guys are going to go to a luau tonight, this is what you're going to. The leaf. The luau leaf. The lau of the taro. This is what we call luau leaf. So, leaf, stalk we eat. Root we eat like a potato. So when the stalk reaches full maturity, still comparing it to us as human beings, like human beings, when you reach full maturity, we pass. So we eat the whole plant, leaf, stalk, and root. No good for reproducing. After that, we cut off the root. We leave a little bit of the bottom left. We take off the leaves. We eat the leaf. We eat the root. Now I have my shoot ready for replanting. It goes inside just like my family. Now, after us as parents, the healthier the parent, the healthier the children. You teach the children right. You produce a good family. After you teach, you pass away. What is left behind to carry on the next generation? The traditions, the genealogy, the genes, the knowledge of the family. the children. So we look at the taro plant like a ohana, the family. It represents a family. Parent, children. Parent dies after teaching the children, the next generation is left to carry on. If the generation is not strong, it will die. But if you take care of the plant and you take care of the family and the generation, it will live and carry on for generations to generations for generations to come. Pretty similar like how we think of it in our family. See, the healthier. Now, I see this plant like me as a human being. Now, the healthier I keep that family, the healthier my family goes inside brothers and sisters. We all help take care of each other. The healthier everybody is. Cousins, families, relatives get together, the funner. Better it is for everybody. More of the generation to carry on. The plant represents our family. Ohana in our culture. And ohana is one of the strongest words in our culture. Used everywhere. Even Disney used it. Means family. And that is true. In our families, nobody gets left behind. That is true in our culture. So, like the taro plant. So the healthier I keep this family, the healthier it keeps my family. So that is how we look at the taro plant here in this valley and in my family. There's a lot of legends, a lot of things, but we're going to break it down to you folks how we see it through ourselves. Not the legends and the stories, because we work with it every day. The person who write the legends and the stories, they're not taro farmers. They're book writers, and that is why they're writing the books. So, I'm going to hand this around so you guys can take a look at it, the root. So, the only setback to taro is, plant has to be cooked. You cannot eat any part of it raw. So when I say it has to be cooked, if you look at the skin on top of the root, almost like bark of a tree. Real woody. And as the plant get older, the thicker and harder that bark on the root will get. So, we steam, we boil, we take something, poke it through nice and soft, check it like you would a potato. If it goes through nice and soft, your taro is done. You take it out, and now we peel it. We take all the skin off the taro, because the skin, if you have any piece of the skin on your taro and you eat it, it itches your throat. It itches your throat like glass. So people says, why do you guys eat taro then? Why didn't you guys use something else as a staple food? So much work to clean it and eat it. The nutritional value of taro is very good. And some taro varieties have enough nutrition in it to sustain a pregnant woman, like some breadfruit plants, where they don't have to eat nothing else in their diet and only eat taro, and it has all the nutrition it needs to sustain a pregnant woman to carry a child. So that is why they use it in hospitals too. So taro is known as the new superfood now here in Hawaii, which us Hawaiians already knew it was. That is why it was our main staple food. But the problem today is not enough taro to supply the state of Hawaii. There's different types of taro. Wetland taro, dryland taro. The best poi you're going to get is made out of wetland taro, not dryland taro. But it's easier to produce wetland taro, dryland taro today because there's not enough wetlands. So when people try my poi and try the other pois, they go, yours is the best I ever had. I says, because the taro is grown the way it's supposed to be grown and produced the way it's supposed to be produced. Dryland taro we use for flour, making chips, and other things like that. Wetland taro we use for making poi, kulolo, and some other Hawaiian desserts that we make. Actually, yeah, kulolo, not hopi is coconut. So, that is how we look at the taro plant. After we steam it, boil it, peel all the skin off of it. See how Mom makes everything all nice? This is what you got. That is what the taro looks like. It almost looks like a sweet potato.
It does.
Yes, it does. A purple sweet potato.
Is a purple sweet potato the same as taro?
No.
No.
Purple sweet potato is different.
Yeah.
And the type of sweet potato we have is the same exact sweet potato that they have in South America. That is where our sweet potato came from in Hawaii. Hawaiian sweet potato ain't really Hawaiian, it's been adopted.
That's the purple
Yep,
one.
and how they know it? But this says Hawaiians had purple sweet potato for hundreds of years. How was it from South America? I said, what island is next to South America? Easter Island. And that is the bottom corner of our Polynesian Triangle. How many of you know what our Polynesian Triangle is? Ever heard of it?
No.
So we have a triangle in the Pacific. Hawaii at the top, New Zealand at one corner, Easter Island at the other corner. You draw a line to each island, it creates a triangle in the middle of the Pacific. Anything in that triangle is Polynesian. Anything out of that triangle is now not Polynesian. You're Pacific Islander, but now you're Japanese, Filipino, or something else. So that is where the Hawaiians did most of their sailing, that Polynesian triangle. But how they know we got our sweet potato from South America?
Speak Spanish.
No, because they found burials on the shorelines of South America, and in these burial sites they found koa canoes. Koa is only indigenous to Hawaii. So Hawaiian people sailed a long ways. We're masters at the sea. So, since I do everything traditionally, that's how we soften the leaf. We take out the middle. Now it's flexible without ripping it. Now I can. Instant plate. Put my food on. Take a piece of taro.
And that's what kind of leaf is a tea leaf?
That's a tea leaf. See how durable and useful this leaf is? We use it for everything.
And the red variety of the tea plant, is that just an ornamental plant?
Excuse
The
me?
red tea,
Yep, there's
They
different
just all-
varieties of tea leaves. So you have the green ones, you had the red ones. Nowadays they got a bunch of all hybrid ones. So
thank you.
you can taste that there. Don't like to waste anything. I had to take it off the knife, so.
Better than nothing.
Oh, hear that. You gotta tease them once in a while.
Good thing you running plane. I better call your wife and you change your mind. I'm coming home.
You try and tell my wife. He's gonna. You know how women are, Dad.
Wonderful.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Till she find out her husband is not coming back. You gonna keep him there longer? I haven't seen him for a month.
How long do you stay though?
I usually see my family once a month.
How long do you stay? When
I
you,
stay, it depends. The longest I stay is 7 days, 1 week. The shortest I stay is 2 days. So it's all difficult and how busy I get and how many groups I have. So it's I do a lot of back and forth and a lot of making up for time.
So this has been steamed? you said?
Steamed and cooked
Steamed
already.
and cooked. Yeah.
So I don't know how much of you guys there are, but I'm just chopping away. If there's any leftovers there.
Yeah, at the hotel in Molokai, they make veggie burgers and they put taro and breadfruit in it. They're really
Taro and
good.
ulu.
They're wonderful.
So,
Tastes really good.
you hand it around so you guys can take a piece of this.
And the smallest piece.
Here's one of these.
Break it however piece you want.
Gotta
I
take
just
a big piece to
cut
get
it the
really
way it
get the taste.
That tastes good, yeah.
It's good.
similar to a sweet potato.
Yeah, a little different.
A little salt.
Yep.
Yeah.
It kind of starts off, you're not too sure what the taste is, and then if you let it sit in your mouth, and it just gets sweeter and sweeter and sweeter and sweeter and sweeter. And taste just lingers
And then it
nice and
tastes like
sweet.
sweet
Sweet potato in your mouth.
Yeah.
So that is what the taro piece is like before we pound it.
It's good.
I've never tasted it like that. I always tasted it before.
So, while that's going around,
Not yet.
please do not drop these. We do not stand up upright. If you're going to put them down, please lie them down. But this stone and this board is a set given to me from my dad, 7 generations in my family.
Wow.
So this is 7 generations already. All this made traditionally, all handed down in the family. So I'm going to hand this around. Ask you guys, please be very careful, because when I teach culture, like I said, you cannot learn if you don't touch it, hold it, feel it. You get to hold my ancestors' hands. So that is how you learn.
How old is it?
7 generations in my family.
What's it made of?
All lava rock.
Lava rock?
Yep, rocks that come off the island. So,
Wow.
and here's another stone. So that's one type of stone. Take a look at it. See it? There's another stone. Both of these stones go together.
What is
Along,
the...
and while you're looking at the stones, I'm going to tell you guys about the board that I have. I have 2 different types of boards here. One board is made modern, as you can see, with a wood that is used a lot here in Hawaii. A lot of the trees we have around, growing around, beautiful tree made out of monkey pot, which is a beautiful wood. But you can see the modern board and the original board. Today, I've never seen a modern board look like an ancient board. Maybe because the people have never seen an ancient board before, the younger generation. But who knows? I know they're still around in the museum, but how many younger kids go to the museum nowadays? Yeah, they go to the mall. So, this is made with modern tools. Nice board, traditional. It works, but when you pound, not so good because corner's too high. So when you try to grind things down, when you get things in corners, it's hard. It's easier to do it on a more flatter surface. So this is made out of monkey pod, made with modern tools. And then this board goes with those stones, which are 7 generations old. So everything together as a set was made with each other. And this board, made out of kamani nut, which is a native nut tree.
What is it called?
Kamani. Kamani nut, which is a native nut tree. So, made with rock tools. So when I say rock tools, made with adze. And then, grab that. Yeah. When you guys done with the stones, you can just hand it to my father. And then when I turn the board over, it still has the outside of the tree on top.
Oh, that's cool.
With the branches, so they knew what they were doing.
Yeah, I should say so.
You know, if you guys want to know how heavy the board is, you can come over here and try and give it a feel if you guys want to try and figure out how heavy the board is. If you can just see,
Looks heavy.
almost 40 pounds. So, traditional.
It lasted 7 generations, it had to be heavy.
Oh yeah. Solid wood, hardwood. So the first stone I handed around you guys, what can you tell me about this stone?
It's heavier and rounded at the bottom.
Heavier, rounder, smoother,
Less porous, yeah.
less porous. Second stone?
Lighter, flatter, more porous.
More porous, flatter surface. So you guys get an idea why the 2 different stones?
One's fine and coarse.
You got your grinding stone and your finishing stone. Nowadays, a lot of people don't know about grinding and finishing stones because there's never too many families around that has been pounding taro for 50 generations. So whenever you see a poi pounding demonstration here in the hotel industry or even out in the Hawaiian schools, you always see everybody only have 1 stone. So when they come here, they ask me, why do you have 2 stones? I says, you never heard of a grinding stone? They goes, no. Rough sand, smooth sand, tools? No, I've only learned with 1 stone. I said, where you learned from? The University of Hawaii. Oh, I see why. It's not a bad thing to learn from them. They did teach you right, but they didn't know themselves they're 2 different types of stones. Because the teacher teaching you guys the class, their family's not taro farmers. So, in our Hawaiian culture, if you're a fisherman, you don't go teaching anything else but fishing. So in our culture, we have experts in every field. So if you want to learn about it, you go to the experts. You don't ask the fisherman about farming because, yeah, he doesn't know about it. So, secret to making good poi is using as least water as possible. So when it says least water as possible, we're only using the water to stop it from sticking. Because taro is very sticky. You guys felt it. You did it, the texture. So now, I put water on my board. With my board. You can tell I use the board a lot. Season, everything just soaks right into it. So everybody says, how do you keep your board from getting eaten? Because I see it got eaten from termites at one time. I says, yeah. We brine our wood. So they say, well, you brine our wood. We soak it in the ocean, the salt water. We soak it and we soak it and we soak it, and the wood almost starts to swell, and all the salt gets into the wood. We bring it out and we dry it. And then when it dries completely and it hardens up again, then we stick it in the irrigation ditch. So we flush the salt off the surface, but the salt sits in the middle of the wood. Because bugs don't like
No, they
salty
don't like
wood.
salt.
So that flavor the poi then?
No, because the salt is on the inside. I flush all the salt off the surface and the top layer, so it's completely clean. All I need is the salt to stop it from the bugs from eating it. So I wet my board. I can put my taro and it can slide across. Even though I say I'm pounding, I'm not pounding because if I pound, taro goes flying, so we're not pounding. put my taro on the board. I wet my board, I wet my stone. Now I can start my grinding process. I take my taro. And like I told you folks, I don't pound. Because if I pound, everything goes flying. So I hold it. Now I press on it. So I can get it mashed where it won't fly out. And now
Oh,
I can start my grinding process.
Do you ever get your left hand stuck in there?
Nope.
Not a good idea. That would
Not
be
yet.
bad.
Never hit my fingers or ever.
And it's like a dough, so it comes up off the board. Yeah,
Yep.
it comes
So all I
right
do is take the lumps out. So this wasn't that hard to grind up because it was really soft already. So what I do is after I'm done, I check it. If I like it, what I see, I put it on the side and I grab my next one and I start grinding. If you notice, I'm not doing a whole bunch at one time. Because when you grind things, if you do a whole bunch at one time, lumps, hard to get it all out. So as you can see, the smaller one I ground up was a lot more smoother, easier to pound. These are the bigger ones. So these ones cook a lot faster. So those come a little bit more softer than the big ones. So those are the ones that usually never make it to the poi boards. You usually just so like I said, I just use it to stop it from sticking. Notice my hand motions, I'm pulling or I'm flipping, but always palms down. You never do it palms up. People go, why? We're working with wood. Splinters.
Yeah.
So get one underneath your fingernail. Or if you have chips in your boards and stuff like that, if you end up catching it with your fingernail, you can rip your fingernail. So everything is always done palms down. As you can see, making taro wasn't an easy job.
No,
It's a very physical task.
it takes
In the
practice.
family, my dad's job was to pound the taro for his family. So I used to ask him, how much pounds of taro did you have to pound a week? He says 100 pounds a week. That is what his family eat. Just getting there. You check it, the consistency, you just rub it, and if you see the lumps or if you feel lumps, because sometimes it looks like lumps, but then when you feel it, it's not. It's just different colors of the taro.
Well, about how much would you eat in one meal?
I could eat all of this myself. Yep, we love taro. Taro we eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner, snack, breakfast,
You
lunch,
mix it with
dinner.
something, or I
We
mean,
eat
what
it
else
as
do you eat
is.
with it?
We had it as is, but taro was mostly,
Do you have to do it fresh every day or does it last?
I was waiting for those questions. Shelf life. So my poi or my pa'iai, I can pound it into this paste without adding water. Like I said, shelf life. So now I can put it in a bowl, can put it on in a leaf, wrap it up, keep it on my counter. It lasts for 7 days.
Oh, wow.
You can eat it for 7 days.
Does it ferment though?
And it does ferment after 7 days. After it ferment doesn't mean it's not good. You still can eat it when it's sour and fermented too. You know? So the old timers like to let it sit on the counter sometimes for 2 weeks and then eat it. Because they say it adds flavor when it's sour.
Like
to it.
sourdough bread.
Exactly. So a lot of I like it like that too. Sour is my favorite. I grew up with all the old timers.
Do you
bring that to your wife when you go to visit?
Mm-hmm. So she already asked me to bring her some. So that is what I'm gonna do.
And I take it your boys enjoy it as well.
Oh, everybody loves it. If my nieces, nephews, all the kids was here, they'll be sticking their fingers in everything right now. They love it. And everybody, a lot of people ask me, is all this the same type of taro? Because you see the color is different.
Mm-hmm, it
I
is
says,
like,
yes, this is all the same, from the same plant, from the same mom, but like us as kids, we all don't come out the same color, we all don't come out looking the same, right?
Even sweet potatoes aren't all the same.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So they go, oh, I never thought about it that way. Just figure like a banana, everyone comes out yellow and everyone comes out in that shape, and when you open them up, it's all same in the middle. So no, not with everything.
Is it common in most families for the men to make it?
In this valley, all men make poi. All the laborers, harder works, are all done by the man in this valley. So even the cooking was done by the women. Actually, a lot of it was done by the men too here in this valley. But the men would do most of the poi making. So people says, pounding poi, how was it like when people used to pound poi here in this valley? So he used to ask my dad, when you guys were growing up, how was it pounding poi? He says, it's fun. I says, what do you mean fun? I hear you talk about how hard and difficult it was. He said it was, but when other people in the valley was pounding poi at the same time, they made music. They'd make beats and pound, and no trees in the valley, so everyone would sing. So one person would start pounding and the families would start singing, and then someone across would start pounding and hear what the families are singing, and they would add in. And then the whole valley would turn musical.
The first time you pounded, the rhythm that you used, I've heard in some Hawaiian music.
Yep.
Now you say the men in the valley do the hard work. Is there also such a thing as cooperative effort, like now with your irrigation ditch, that your neighbors may come over and help you rebuild it?
The irrigation ditch was everybody's job.
Oh.
Everybody. So there's some responsibilities in the valley that was done by everybody. So the irrigation ditch flowed through everybody's
That's what
piece
I
of
wondered.
land.
Yeah.
Everybody's taro patches, fed everything, so everybody took care of the irrigation ditch. Every single family took care of the irrigation ditch. And everybody was quick to help. Nowadays, you know, people stand on the side and watch you and watch you and watch you before they even lend a helping hand. Here in this valley, if I had a very top taro patch at the end of the valley and I finished before everyone on the bottom, on the way home, I would walk by, and if somebody's working in the taro patch, we stop. I jump in, I help that person. That person's get done, we walk home together. We see somebody else, we jump in, we help him, he gets done, then we all start walking home together and continue on down the valley just like that. And everybody gets done with the work faster. Everybody gets home faster. Everybody's willing to lend a helping hand. And now when you're the last one working, they'll come and help you.
So they do come in.
They do come and help. Everything, there's no idle hands in this valley, put it that way. If you were idler in this valley, they kick you out. There were no idle hands in this valley at all.
We do that with shoveling snow.
Yeah, it's true.
When you're done with your part, you go help the next guy and so forth.
So now when I got the taro tool how I want it, I take my finishing stone. Let's go with that.
So you
To
don't
the
add
forest.
the water to the poi, you just add it to the pounder and the...
You just know when it's the right.
Yep. It doesn't come completely smooth. You can make it completely smooth, but we don't like it completely smooth because like texture.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes things are so smooth and like, it feels funny in my mouth. We need a little texture. Yep, so I said I heard people coming through the forest.
Yeah.
Yep.
Are you the only cultural person on this island?
There's a lot of cultural people on this island, but we're pretty much the correct cultural people on the island, I should say. I don't know how to put it. I don't want to talk bad about anybody else, but
You did right.
You do it right.
well, we can trace all our history, all our information. We can tell you where we get everything from. We can show you, because nowadays everybody wants to know that you're not running a scam.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
hey,
That's
Baba.
not,
So we're one of the last families that on the island. We're not the only cultural people, but we're the ones that people said teach authentic Hawaiian culture.
See,
And are there people like you on other islands? You mentioned that when you went out to dinner, they recognized you and called you uncle.
Yep, just the way I dress. A lot of people dress the way I dress.
But it doesn't mean that.
That doesn't mean that they're teaching the right way. So, like I said, only a kumu can make you a kumu. So when I say only a kumu can make you a kumu, only your teacher knows when you're done with your lesson. So they tell you when you're done. So put it this way. I finally am a certified kumu. I'm 40 years old. It took me 38 years before I could become an official kumu. And I learned traditionally. So people nowadays do not learn traditionally like how I learned. And they learn from the universities, and they're a kumu in 4 years. It took me 38 years to become a traditional kumu in the right way. Culturally trained. Going through the process, practices, memorization. Nothing was done on paper. Everything was done orally and by memorization. And if I didn't get it correct, I didn't pass. You go back and you do it all over again. So it took me 38 years to memorize everything. Correctly. It's a lot of memorization. And then when I got it done after 38 years, the last 2 years, my dad says, now you're it. I'll let you put it all on paper. But my boys learn the same way I learned. They have no paper. Everything is done memorization. I teach them just the same that I learned. No shortcuts in our family. But that was the part of becoming the cultural practitioner. You have to respect it. Because if you're going to not respect it, I'm not going to care to make sure it's done in the right way. So it took me 38 years to learn it, to become an official teacher. So now my son's going to take them a long time before. They can do a lot that I can do, but they're still not ready yet.
And how old are your sons?
I have 3 boys. 3 boys, 2 moms.
And how old are they?
In that picture is my 2 oldest. So he's 13. Oh, my water bottle. He's 13 years old now, and he's 11 years old right now. And then I have my youngest, which I got no pictures of him out there. Darn it, I gotta go put one up. Okay. He's 8 years old. That's my niece, Le Halawa. That's my sister's one that works at Alamo. And then that's her son. Right there too. So?
Got that little blonde guy there.
Yes, that's the Caucasian, that's the Hawaiian side of the family. It's really good to
we have some of that. There's some of that same thing with the Native Americans in the Southwest. You know, or in Texas or wherever. There are people who would try to make a kind of a scam. You know, they're not really very authentic, and it's hard to find those real people who really
in
are.
Hawaii, when you mention our family's name, especially me and my dad, you're either going to hear good stuff or you're going to hear really bad stuff. Because in Hawaii, my family is well hated and well loved. So when I say well loved by the elders and the kupunas, because we teach authentic culture, and my family culture is secret. I mean sacred, not secret. So we share. So a lot of Hawaiian people don't like our family because we share with people from outside.
Yeah, way more than the
Because they feel they should not, because the United States stole everything, blah, 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 blah. But you know what? The way we learn in our families, I cannot blame you now for what happened 100 years ago. None of you guys was around when it even happened. So how am I going to blame you guys?
Yeah.
I'm learning about it just like you
Yeah.
guys are
How can we
learning about
correct
it.
our mistakes if you do not help us understand?
Exactly.
Yes, we need to
So
learn.
it's a learning process for both of us. So in Hawaii, for us as in our family, we see you guys just the same as us. How am I supposed to learn about you if I don't share myself with you and if you don't share yourself with me?
Yeah.
So I learn about you guys. So every time I come here, I meet different people from different states and I learn about your state every single time. So it's a learning process for both of us.
The rest of it too.
So what did you do with the tape?
With the team?
Oh,
The documentary, everybody wants to know where's that DVD, Damar?
I left the boat for vacation and came back and
Yeah, actually,
That's what happens
actually, the
when
day
I
we gave
leave.
you left for vacation, I think so. That the same day, huh?
yeah.
Remind me.
You're being accused.
We have
Tamar.
another one in the house.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we've all been begging him to give you another one so we can watch it.
So when you find the item, bring back the item.
It's a boat. It's got to be there somewhere.
So, I'm gonna hand this around for you folks to try. So when you try it, just break a piece off.
Nope, thank you. I just ate